Today, we are decoding the energies of the upcoming full moon occurring on February 12th at 24 degrees Leo. This is a lunation that ignites the fire within, challenging us to balance heart and mind, passion and detachment, self-expression and collective wisdom. This fiery, heart-centered full moon is lighting up the sky just 2 days before Valentine's Day. And the cosmic energies are challenging us to rethink love, leadership, and personal power. But here's the twist. This lunation isn't all about romance. In fact, it's calling for detachment, clarity, and a deeper level of self-mastery. The cosmic lovers, Venus and Mars, are both being activated during this lunation, and from Leo degrees nonetheless, but with aspects to Saturn and Pluto. So as much as Leo wishes they were, their stories aren't about fairy tales. They're about discipline and transformation in love, passion, and power. It seems our relationships and personal desires could be at a boiling point. So the question is, do we follow our head or our heart? So before you get swept up in all the romance, we've got a lot to talk about. This full moon is not only shining a spotlight on dramatic emotions, it's also creating a T-square with Uranus and Taurus, calling forth sudden shifts, revelations, and a need for radical self-acceptance. It could feel like the universe is testing our ability to stay rational amidst emotional storms. Ruled by the sun, Leo is all about living a heart-centered way of being, with its fiery, passionate nature. Yet the sun is opposing this Leo moon, like all full moons do, but here it's from the sign of its detriment, Aquarius. And Aquarius is known to be emotionally detached, as it governs the mind and prefers logic, like all air signs do. But not only that, Mercury is sitting right next to the sun, so we're really getting a cosmic push to think critically, while our emotions roar for recognition. Love is in the air, but this lunation is all about self-mastery and the balance between logic and emotion, highlighting relationships, self-worth, and power dynamics. These signs are all fixed energy, so they tend to be pretty stuck in their own ways. Therefore, this lunation carries a great deal of tension, but there's a potential for deep emotions and creative transformation. It's all about power, self-expression, and the choices that we make regards to security and passion. So let's dive into this full moon and why head over heart is the mantra for this moment. Better yet, let's explore how you can work with this energy and step into your full radiance with heart-brain coherence. So in today's video, we'll start by understanding the archetype of Leo. Explore the possible ways this transit can manifest in our lives, considering the concurrent planetary aspects. Uncover the karmic lessons of this lunation for our soul growth with the help of the Sabian symbols involved. And we'll end with a star sibling collective moon ritual. I am really excited to try something new with these lunation videos. So instead of me just giving you ritual ideas, I figured we can just do it together. So I'll set up an altar and cast some magic for you to set your own intentions with. And I've designed a whole theme appropriate ritual practice for us to do together that incorporates crystals, essential oils, sound, meditation, and journal prompts. I'm really excited. It's going to be awesome. You'll have to let me know what you think about it, so hang with me to the end and give it a try. So now let's do this. But first, please do me a favor and hit that like button so more people can find my channel. Thank you. The Leo archetype represents radiant self-expression, creativity, leadership, and heart-centered courage. Ruled by the sun, Leo embodies warmth, vitality, and the drive to be seen, appreciated, and admired. This is the sign of the performer, the artist, the leader, those who dare to shine in their authenticity. Just like a lion fiercely defends its pride, Leos are devoted to those they love and will go to great lengths to protect them. True Leo energy is about leading with warmth and generosity, embodying a noble and protective spirit. As a fire sign, the energy of Leo is magnetic, commands attention, and thrives in the spotlight. In its highest expression, Leo energy encourages and uplifts others rather than competes for attention, knowing how to shine brightly without dimming others. When balanced, Leo takes pride in their gifts and accomplishments. But when unbalanced, this can lead to an inflated ego, showcasing arrogance, entitlement, or over-identifying with external achievements or appearances. An artist at heart, driven to create and share their unique essence with the world, Leo brings an inner child energy, thriving on fun, passion, and celebration. But with its childlike nature, Leo is also known to react dramatically or with prideful stubbornness when challenged. This zodiac sign is associated with the 5th house in astrology, governing self-expression, pleasure, romance, creative pursuits, and children. So to embody the energy of Leo in a healthy way, you'll want to embrace these 5 things. The first is express yourself boldly through art, your voice, or style. The second is to lead with courage and authenticity. Own your strengths without fear. The third is create for the joy of it, not for validation. 4 is balance pride with humility. Have confidence without arrogance. 5 is keep your heart open. Lead with generosity and warmth. Leo full moons always illuminate the need for self-confidence, creative expression, and personal leadership. And this full moon brings big emotions, bold desires, and a craving for attention. It wants to be seen, felt, and adored. It's a time when we should be aware. Emotions are bold, confidence is high, and our need for validation is at an all-time peak. So now let's look at how this lunation will influence us, beginning with an understanding of the astrological meaning of a full moon. The full moon is the peak of the lunar cycle, occurring when the sun and the moon are in opposite signs. This creates a dynamic tension between our conscious will, represented by the sun, and our emotional needs, embodied by the moon, bringing heightened awareness, emotional intensity, and revelation. Since the full moon occurs when the sun and the moon are in opposite signs, it highlights the polarity between 2 archetypes, urging us to integrate and balance both energies. This full moon exacts at 24 degrees with the moon in Leo and the sun in Aquarius. So it's all about balancing individual self-expression with collective contribution. This dynamic creates a natural tension between self-focused ambitions and collective ideals. When balanced, Leo shines as a unique individual, but still contributes to something larger. When imbalanced, Leo becomes overly self-focused, while Aquarius may lose personal identity in the group. During every Leo full moon, the sun is always in Aquarius, the sign of its detriment, where it struggles to express its natural essence in a traditional way. While Leo wants to lead with passion, Aquarius demands detachment and higher reasoning. Aquarius isn't about personal glory, it's about logic, detachment, and the collective. So while our hearts may be screaming for attention, the sun in Aquarius reminds us that not everything is about us. But because the ruler of Leo is at its weakest in Aquarius, this full moon tends to highlight the lower expressions of the themes this axis represents, between personal recognition and collective progress, ego versus unity consciousness, heart or mind. So this full moon asks us to question, are we seeking validation just for ourselves, or are we shining our light in service of a greater cause? Are we acting from authentic self-expression, or are we just performing for approval? Are we balancing personal passion with intellectual awareness of the bigger picture? The key takeaway for every Leo full moon is to find the balance between personal radiance and collective evolution, reminding us that true leadership is not about the ego, but about empowering both ourselves and the world around us. This is a dynamic I know all too well. My natal moon is in Leo, born just a day after a full moon, though that was in Cancer. But my moon sits opposite my chart ruler, Venus, in the sign Aquarius. My nodes also fall on this axis. So tell me how it's hitting your chart. I'd love to hear how it's showing up for you. The house placement where 24 degrees Leo resides in your natal chart reveals where you'll experience heightened energy, clarity, or emotional shifts. So take a screenshot of this or pause the video, look to your rising sign. These are the themes being activated in your whole sign house Leo rules. And anyone with planets or points between 19 and 29 degrees of the fixed signs, that's Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio, will feel this energy most intensely. You might feel an intense urge to stand out, claim your power, or make a grand declaration. But before you act, just make sure that you take a step back, look at the big picture, and see who it'll impact and how first. Leo says, feel it, express it, follow your heart. But Aquarius says, step back, think critically, be rational. So let Aquarius analyze the situation objectively before reacting impulsively. And like I mentioned before, Mercury is even here to help us do just that. See, this full moon is opposing the sun conjunct Mercury, which is at 26 degrees Aquarius. Mercury brings an emphasis on the mind and communication. And in Aquarius, it's all about big ideas, sudden insights, and mental breakthroughs. When the sun and Mercury come together in Aquarius, the mind and ego are aligned, bringing heightened clarity, intellectual sharpness, and a strong desire for truth and innovation. But it can also mean overanalyzing emotions, rationalizing feelings instead of processing them. So you might find yourself naturally stepping back from drama, observing instead of reacting, or you might overthink to the point where you disconnect entirely. This aspect can make us want to talk things out, but it can also make us cold or distant if we're afraid of feeling too much. So watch out for being too logical in matters of the heart. The most powerful decisions come from a balance of wisdom and passion, from intuition, not just analysis. Be mindful of how you communicate. Words have power, and under this influence, they can lack sensitivity and cut real deep if you're not careful. Aquarius energy can be blunt, so be mindful of how your words impact others. Let Leo guide you towards authenticity. Don't suppress your feelings, but don't let them control you either. The Sabian symbol being activated by the sun illustrates this perfectly. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Sabian symbols, they are a set of 360 symbolic images, each corresponding to a specific degree of the zodiac. They were developed by astrologer Mark Edmund Jones and clairvoyant Elsie Wheeler in the 1920s. The Sabian symbols are used in astrology as a tool for gaining deeper insight into the meaning of each degree. I have to say, my go-to guy for interpreting Sabian symbols has to be James Burgess. His words are so poetic and always resonate deeply with me. So much so that I just have to share them with others any chance I get. So with that said, the sun is activating the Sabian symbol for 24 to 25 degrees Aquarius, called butterfly, right wing more perfectly formed. James Burgess says this is about transforming emotionality into spiritual wisdom. There is a state of consciousness above duality where we can hold in suspension two opposing emotions, rising above emotion to attain spiritual wisdom. What we experience as emotions is normally quite disturbing to our sense of peaceful poise. Yet for those who have worked on themselves, these energies can be transmuted. The sense is here suggested that when the heavy drag of emotionality is released, an individual can mutate to a more aware state of perception. It is not entirely unlike the expansion of consciousness that goes hand in glove with the opening of the third eye. If you haven't watched my Lunar New Year video yet, I highly recommend you watch it next. because I go into great detail the power of Aquarian energy when it comes to awakening the third eye and unity consciousness, as well as the transformative power of 2025, the year of the snake, which has similarities to the symbolism of the butterfly. Now, this Sabian symbol represents growth, asymmetry, and the imbalance of development, a reminder that progress is rarely symmetrical, and sometimes one part of us evolves faster than another. This imbalance is noted by the right versus left. The right side is known to be associated with logic versus the left side relating to emotion. In the case of the right wing of the butterfly being more perfectly formed, it's referencing the rational, masculine, action-oriented side of consciousness, suggesting that intellect or strategy may be developing faster than our intuition or emotions. But the universe praises imperfect perfection. Beauty exists even in asymmetry. Your progress doesn't have to be balanced to be valid. This full moon teaches us that emotions are valid, but wisdom comes from knowing when to follow them or when to step back and think. This is powerful energy for self-expression, insight, and transformation. But don't let detachment from emotions or rigid thinking prevent you from embracing your full heart-centered power or keep you disconnected from unity consciousness. Now, here's when things get really interesting. The tension in this full moon doesn't come from its opposition alone. Uranus in Taurus, the planet of sudden change and rebellion, is forming a T-square, shaking up our sense of security and stability, which means this is calling forth disruptions, revelations, and emotional earthquakes. Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius. This is the planet known for revolutions. It's all about shaking things up. There are 3 key themes with this aspect. The first is sudden changes, whether that be in relationships, self-worth, finances, or changes at the collective level. The second thing this brings is a radical push towards authenticity. If you've been holding on to a version of yourself that lacks integrity or no longer serves you, expect a wake-up call. Hello, did you just wake up? Did you just wake up, my Skylar? Hi, baby girl. You're so cute. This is Skylar. Okay, go lay down. And the third thing is unexpected events forcing us out of our comfort zones. Uranus is here to shake things up where we've been resistant to change. So again, considering the Leo-Aquarius axis being in the spotlight right now, it's easy to witness these themes being highlighted in the current political arena regarding traditional leadership versus revolutionary change. Leo energy is about the sovereign ruler. It's the sign of royalty, kings and queens, just like the current Leo rising president of America wishes he was. But Aquarius challenges centralized authority, advocating for collective empowerment. And we can see the civil unrest growing by the day. T-squares bring pressure, forcing action and decisions. So expect surprises, unexpected messages, sudden shifts, or shocking truths that completely alter your perspective. Sudden insights could propel us to take bold risks, or we may feel external disruptions forcing us out of our comfort zones. The Sabian symbol where Uranus sits teaches us a valid lesson in the times we're in. This is actually the same degree Uranus was sitting during its last cazimi with the Sun in May of 2024. As you may know, Uranus stationed direct motion just 1 day after the Aquarius new moon that initiated us into this lunar cycle, which occurred on January 29th. So this energy is strong and now traveling full speed ahead to see the changes through, upheaval and all. This Sabian symbol is called a mounted Indian with scalp locks. And as James Burgess puts it, it's about channeled aggression. During early stages of development, it remains crucial to establish identity of self and tribe by fighting for it if needed, channeling aggression. One side of human nature that needs to be channeled properly instead of being denied is the natural aggressiveness and potential for violence that can arise when survival is in doubt. Those who are foreign to each other are often fearful and feel threatened by the other. It is a fact of life that must be faced. It is not at all unusual for this to spill over into competitiveness within one's own tribe. We see this between political parties, but it seems like a large portion of the population had forgotten at the end of the day, we're all Americans. Slowly but surely, it seems more of those that had forgotten that fact are coming to realize this truth and what and who is the real threat. And thankfully, they're starting to correct the target to where their aggression should actually be channeled towards. On a collective level, this lunation highlights major conversations around leadership, self-expression, and the role of the individual versus the collective. Are we witnessing figures who lead with authenticity, or are we seeing the consequences of inflated egos? Social movements, political and pop culture revolutions, and financial shakeups are all highlighted under this lunation as Uranus and Taurus continues to disrupt outdated structures. So expect the unexpected and just prepare yourself to pivot when things don't go as planned. But it's important to note, when Uranus is in the mix, resistance is futile. Embracing change is our only option. The key here is flexibility. If you're holding on to something that isn't aligned with your future, Uranus will make sure that you let it go. So be open to shifts in how you value yourself, your resources, or even your creative endeavors. Uranian energy can be disruptive, so practices like breath work, Reiki, and grounding exercises can help stabilize you during this time. If things fall apart, trust that it's making space for something better. Let me know in the comments if you want me to offer a Reiki healing designed to settle the anxiety brought on by this intense Uranian influence. For those of you who don't know, I'm a Reiki master and I offer pre-recorded sessions or live one-on-one sessions, which can be done via distant treatment or in person if you live in the Chicagoland area. So my contact information is in the description of this video and also on my channel's homepage in the About Me section. So send me an email if you want to schedule something. This full moon in Leo is a test of courage, a call for authenticity, and a push towards embodying our highest creative potential. But it requires discernment. Not all attention is good attention. And not all rebellion leads to true freedom. How will you step into your power while remaining open to the wisdom of the universe? Ask yourself, where am I resisting change? Or where am I holding on to old identities out of fear of the unknown? This is a time to ask yourself about what you truly desire, and if you're brave enough to claim it. Whether it's love, creative expression, or personal growth, Leo reminds us that playing small is not an option. So that brings me to the Sabian symbol for the true star of the show. The moon is highlighting the Sabian symbol, a large camel crossing the desert. This symbol represents endurance, self-sufficiency, and inner resilience, or as James Burgess puts it, independence. We need to learn to rely more upon ourselves and reduce the dependency upon others. Self-reliance. The more we are self-reliant, the less we depend for our needs upon others who so often require us to be inauthentic or curbed, muted versions of ourselves. So thwarting our spiritual aspirations. Having become disinterested in how we appear to the world, we must go one stage further and minimize what we require of worldly comforts. Given that this full moon is forming a T-square with Uranus and Taurus, This symbol speaks to adapting to sudden changes and staying steady through uncertainty, even if the journey feels lonely or difficult. This energy asks us to trust our inner reserves and keep moving forward. The camel is built to withstand harsh conditions. Symbolically, this reflects a deep inner strength, the ability to sustain oneself through life's challenges, and the wisdom to use resources wisely. Deserts often represent spiritual tests, isolation, or a journey through uncertainty. Just like the camel carries its own resources, it reminds us that we too have what we need within us to survive and thrive. The camel animal totem has a lot to teach us, especially during such times of great change and uncertainty. This presenting itself to us now symbolizes our ability to navigate life's challenges with patience and perseverance. Camels store fat in their humps, which they convert into energy when needed. This symbolizes the ability to draw from inner reserves, whether emotional, spiritual, or physical, during difficult times. Camels don't waste energy on unnecessary movement, and their bodies are designed to conserve water. Spiritually, this teaches the importance of using energy wisely, avoiding burnout, and letting go of what no longer serves you. Camels can endure extreme heat and cold, teaching us how to adjust to changing circumstances without losing our sense of self. They remind us that true security comes from within, not external conditions. Camels can go for long periods without external support, symbolizing a deep trust within one's own capabilities. They remind us that we are enough as we are, and we don't need to constantly seek validation or resources from others to survive and thrive. Therefore, the camel reminds us of our inner reserves of strength, to be efficient with our energy and adaptable in harsh environments, and to be self-reliant and independent. For relationships, this symbol suggests not relying on external validation, but rather developing inner emotional security. It's a reminder that while love and support are beautiful, true strength comes from knowing that you can weather the storms on your own if needed. So that brings me to the lessons coming through Venus and Mars. Although they are not in direct communication with this full moon, meaning they're not aspecting the sun or the moon, they are, however, transiting Leo degrees at the time of this lunation. According to degree theory, 5, 17, and 29 degrees are associated with the energy of Leo. Hence why these degrees are also known as fame degrees. So how synchronistic is it that during this full moon, ruled by the sign linked to romance, the cosmic lovers are both at Leo degrees? And since this full moon is happening right before Valentine's Day, let's talk about love, passion, and power dynamics, shall we? Venus, the planet of love, is bold and independent in Aries. She is not waiting around. She is taking charge. At 5 degrees Aries, Venus is forming a sextile to Pluto at 2 degrees Aquarius, her own degree nonetheless. So this suggests relationships and desires are being transformed at a soul level. This is not about surface level attraction. This is about power dynamics, passionate sex, and deeply emotional shifts. Watch out, this energy is hot, but it can definitely burn you if you're not careful. This is about raw desire, power in love, and stepping into relationships that align with our evolution. But it also brings power struggles. Are we attracting empowering connections or controlling ones? Venus in Aries is bold, impulsive, and passionate. Pluto in Aquarius is making sure it's something deep, transformative, and future-oriented. This is seductive, but intense energy. Point blank, power dynamics and relationships are shifting. Some may feel an obsessive pull towards someone, while others may finally walk away from toxic patterns. Either way, this aspect asks, what does true power in love look like? Control or fearless vulnerability? If you're craving intensity in love or looking to step into personal empowerment, this aspect is working in your favor. But be warned, Pluto does not play. If there is manipulation, toxicity, or hidden control tactics in relationships, they will be exposed. Then there is Mars retrograde at 17 degrees Cancer, a deeply emotional and protective sign. Mars is the planet that represents our drive and action. Normally, Mars in Cancer can be reactive, but here's the saving grace. It's in a harmonious trine to Saturn in Pisces. Translation: emotional discipline. This aspect helps us channel passion and emotions productively with wisdom. Mars in Cancer trine Saturn in Pisces is a stabilizing force. Mars in Cancer fights for emotional security, while Saturn in Pisces provides spiritual grounding. This is about commitment, emotional endurance, and fighting for what matters. If your relationships have been going through turbulence, this aspect offers wisdom and patience. Or if you've been feeling all over the place, this energy helps you get a grip, providing structure and maturity. It's perfect for making long-term commitments, strengthening boundaries, or turning emotions into focused action. So while some people are diving into intense, passionate, Pluto-driven love affairs, others will be solidifying emotional bonds with commitment and stability. But the overall question when it comes to matters of love is, are you operating from control or authenticity? And are you leading from your head or your heart? Or something else entirely? But most importantly, are we living in alignment with our true heart's calling? Or are we conforming to outdated expectations? But then too, the heart wants what it wants, but does it align with our highest self? This is a time when we are being asked to stand in our authentic power and balance personal desires with collective realities. So how do we work with this Leo full moon energy? 5 things. First is get clear on your desires. Leo energy asks, what lights you up? Aquarius energy asks, does it serve your highest good? Uranus demands, are you willing to break free? The second is let go of validation seeking. Are you dimming your light to fit in? Are you chasing external validation instead of honoring your heart? This is a time to stand fully in your authenticity. The third is expect the unexpected and surrender. Uranus and Taurus brings surprises. Some relationships may shift overnight. New opportunities may suddenly appear. If something ends, trust that it is making room for something better. The fourth thing is use Venus and Mars to align love with purpose. Passion, Venus and Pluto, plus stability, Mars and Saturn, equals lasting, empowered love. Ask yourself, are your relationships pushing you towards evolution, or are they keeping you small? And the last thing to do is to join me for a full moon ritual. But for those of you who are ready to sign off, let's quickly recap what this full moon is really all about. It isn't about rushing into emotions. It's about mastering them. It's about choosing wisdom over impulse, insight over drama, and growth over stagnation. So tell me in the comments, what area of life do you feel this head over heart energy playing out most? Relationships, career, personal growth? I'd love to hear what's going on in your life. And if you see the connections in the astrology, well, that is just the cherry on top. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It really does help me keep bringing you cosmic insights just like this. And remember, stop playing small. Let go of what dims your light. Be bold and own your authenticity. And until next time, shine bright, my star siblings. Sending you all so much love and Leo full moon magic. Speaking of which, while I get set up, let me remind you of the general energy of a full moon. Full moon symbolize 4 main themes. The first is culmination and climax. Seeds planted during the new moon reach a point of fruition or realization. The second is illumination and clarity. Truths are revealed, whether externally, with events unfolding, or internally, with deep insights. The third is emotional release and purging. The full moon stirs up emotions, often bringing up what needs to be acknowledged, healed, or let go. And lastly, it's a time of manifestation and reflection, a time to recognize progress, assess goals, and make necessary adjustments. The Leo full moon is a powerful time for aligning the heart and mind, balancing emotional passion with logical clarity. Leo governs the heart, self-expression, and creative confidence, while its opposite sign, Aquarius, represents the higher mind, innovation, and detachment. This ritual bridges the two, bringing coherence between intuition and intellect, so you can move forward with both courage and wisdom. The intentions for this full moon ritual are to strengthen the connection between your heart, Leo, and mind, Aquarius, releasing limiting beliefs around self-expression, anchor into bold, authentic self-leadership, and balance emotions with clear thinking. I want to begin by sharing my gratitude for you joining me during this full moon ritual, adding strength and power to this energetic healing for both yourself and our collective star sibling family. So thank you. In today's ritual, I will be using a variety of tools, which if you have yourself, feel free to add them to this practice. If not, no worries. The energy will be infused into this recording for you to get the benefits either way. Now, I'd like to start by reading you 2 messages that I pulled out of my Starseed Oracle deck while I meditated on these full moon energies prior to writing my script. I asked my spirit guides to show me the messages that I most needed to share with the collective about this full moon, and the 2 cards that popped out are just so perfectly fitting for the astrology. So how synchronistic is it that the 2 cards that I got, the first is called You've Got the Love, and it's associated with Hadarian energy. I don't know how to pronounce that, but Hadarian energy, codependency, boundaries are what is shown on the card. So the message for this is the Hadarians are believed to be beacons of pure, divine, unconditional love, who see love in all people and situations. As a result, they can find it hard to have boundaried, interdependent, healthy relationships because they only see the unconditional nature of those they meet. The lovers of the cosmos, they dive in fast. They're here to learn how to love while in a separate body, to learn to love self first and then establish healthy relationships with others, to remember that the love they seek is already within them, that they truly do have the love all on their own. The message of this card is to review the ways you may need to establish healthier boundaries. Perhaps you're in a codependent relationship in which you may be losing your sense of self. It's common for starseeds to dive deep into relationships, particularly with those they feel safe and familiar at a soul level. Perhaps you're in a relationship in which you gave more than you receive, or perhaps there's a certain volatility to it and you're always unsure where you stand. This card is a sign to do a relationship review and see what energetic agreements you've made, consciously or unconsciously. To acknowledge if there are relationships in which you feel anxious or powerless, in which you don't feel like it's safe to relax and just be you. To assess if there are any places of inadequacy that you've used a relationship to soothe and cover up. The starseed soul inquiry for this card is, do you lose yourself in relationships? If so, how? How can you develop a deeper love for yourself? And that's perfectly fitting for the energies of that Venus sextile Pluto that we talked about earlier. This also has a lot to do with the Mars retrograde in Cancer, with Saturn in Pisces, and that trine aspect we talked about earlier. Saturn in Pisces is all about this, where it's trying to find boundaries in a sign that is boundless. Pisces does not like boundaries. Pisces is very much that soul level love that sees everyone as one and has compassion and love for everything. And so it's really difficult for us star seeds here on Earth to have those boundaries that keep us protected and where we don't get energetically depleted. You know, we gotta have our cup filled first, and there's a lot of different ways that we can do that, which Leo teaches us, right? It's about following our passion and just being the light for ourselves first and foremost, and allowing that light to be what we share with others and the love that we give and receive back. So that is just perfectly fitting, and I just love it so much, right? So then the next one is called Lifting the Veil, questioning everything. Anything unaligned must go. So this is what the card looks like. I can focus. Things aren't always as they seem. This era is one of uncovering mistruths so we can remember ancient truths. Everything is in a state of recall and realignment. Anything that isn't in harmony with the planet will not survive. This goes for society and the world at large, as well as in our own lives. If you pull this card, you're being called to energetically scan your life for things that may no longer be a vibrational match for who you are and how you've grown, to dismantle the systems and ways of being that once served you and others but no longer do. Some star seeds are here to lift the veil between the seen and unseen worlds, to shine a light on things that are inauthentic or unaligned with the survival and well-being of Earth, to stand for and protect those who don't have a voice, to look deeper and question everything that previous generations did not. Some star seeds cannot tolerate things that aren't congruent. They're here to bring society and humanity back into harmony with the planet and the Creator at large. If we tolerate things in our life that aren't aligned and congruent with it, we add to the misalignment of the planet. You're being called to trust yourself, notice what's out of alignment, and then take the baby steps required to bring it back into harmony. This is no easy feat, but it's so worthwhile, both individually and for the planet. The Starseed Soul Inquiry for this card is, what isn't congruent in your life? How are you being called to bring it back into harmony? And that is just so perfect for Uranus and Taurus squaring this full moon. I mean, Uranus and Taurus is all about dismantling those structures for what isn't working for the earth and the collective. And we have Pluto in Aquarius and the Sun in Aquarius and Mercury in Aquarius, and it's all about seeking the truth and unveiling what has been hidden and waking up the collective to a higher level of consciousness so that we can all live in better harmony with one another and the planet. So I just love those messages. I wanted to start this ritual by sharing those because they were just so fitting with the astrology, and it's something to contemplate on as we continue this practice together. So thank you for that. So next we're going to do a meditation practice. And for that, if you have essential oils and you want to use them, you can. Otherwise, don't worry about it. But I am using rose and frankincense. And if you have a carrier oil, you can combine them with. Great. If not, no worries. I'm not using one. Just putting a little dab of each to combine on my palms. Rose opens the heart chakra and promotes self-love and emotional healing, and frankincense deepens meditation. It connects the heart and crown chakras together. So you can place a little on your hands and then anoint your heart chakra with it and your third eye chakra, the space between your brows. Okay. So begin by sitting comfortably with the eyes closed and settle into your breath. Feeling the movement that your breath creates, the rise and fall of the belly, the expansion and contraction of the chest. Feel the air flowing through the nostrils and down the back of the throat. Feel the crisp, cool air flowing in with the inhale and the warmth out with the exhale. As you feel yourself drop into the present moment, visualize a golden light expanding from your heart and connecting to your mind. Now place your right hand over your heart and use your left middle finger to slowly tap on your third eye, the space between your brows, trying to sync the pace of your tapping with your heartbeat. Envision this pulse traveling up to your brain, syncing their rhythm. As you do so, I'm going to incorporate sound to attune to the heart chakra and the ajna, using the musical notes F and A, which are the sounds resonant with these energy centers, while also tuning to the Solfeggio frequency of 963 hertz to stimulate the crown chakra and your connection to the divine. As you breathe, imagine the energy moving in a loop. Heart, brain, heart, brain. When you feel fully in sync, go ahead and relax your arms down to your sides. Rest your hands on your legs with the palms facing upwards, and repeat mentally or aloud, I trust my heart. I trust my mind. I lead with love and wisdom. As you sit here, calmly ask yourself, what does my heart want me to know? What does my heart want me to know? Now ask yourself, what does my mind need to express? What does my mind need to express? Feel free to journal any insights, or just continue to contemplate for as long as you'd like. But now we're going to move on to the next part of this ritual for our moon magic candle ritual. Next, we're going to work with the element of Leo, fire, for the release portion of this ritual, transmuting fear into creative fuel. For this, I'm going to anoint the candle using lemon balm essential oil, as it's known to soothe the nervous system and balance emotions with intellect. And then I'm going to press rosemary and cinnamon onto the candle. Cinnamon increases passion, personal power, and spiritual energy, pulling in the Leo energy. And also rosemary, which enhances mental clarity and focus, tying to the Aquarius energy of this lunation. Of course, Leo loves to shine, so we gotta add the glitter. And I'm going to place the candle holder in a tray with rose quartz for heart chakra healing, self-love, and emotional balance, as well as citrine for solar energy, confidence, joy, and abundance, and clear quartz, which amplifies heart-brain coherence and intention. Spirit guides, angels, and ancestors for support, aligning with the highest vibrations of love and light to surround and protect this ritual, connecting with the energy of the Leo full moon for healing, release, and manifestation. Now, think about any limiting beliefs you hold about self-expression. Might be fear of being seen, fear of judgment, patterns of overthinking, anything tied to the axis of Leo and Aquarius, and the themes associated with these zodiac signs. As you bring them to mind, I'm going to write on this paper. The intention is for this to capture the energy of your limiting beliefs, my star siblings watching this video now, and activating it with a powerful Reiki symbol that transcends time, space, and distance, so I can better tune into your energy. Setting the intention for this paper to hold the frequency you intend to attach to it. In your mind's eye, visualize writing this intention down on this piece of paper, or you can do so physically if you'd like on your own sheet of paper. But now say those limiting beliefs aloud as I burn the page. Then say, I release these thoughts with gratitude. They no longer define me. So mote it be. With infinite love, now it is so. Trust that as the page burns, it transmutes the energy into a higher expression of beneficial energy to serve your highest self. Now take a deep cleansing breath and release. And now for this final portion of this ritual, you will need to move to a mirror. This is designed to activate your solar plexus chakra, the energy center associated with the energy of Leo and the sun. And I will play a crystal singing bowl in the musical note of E to balance this chakra. The solar plexus, or known as the Manipura in Sanskrit, is the center of personal power, confidence, and self-expression. So begin by looking into the mirror and hold eye contact with yourself. As you connect with your sense of self, speak empowering affirmations aloud, such as, I am radiant. I am confident. My voice matters. My heart and my mind work together in harmony. I express my truth boldly and freely. Or any other affirmation that resonates strongly for you and the intentions you'd like to embody now, in this moment, and every moment moving forward. And make sure to smile at yourself. This will anchor the energy of joy within the center of your being. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Please let me know in the comments if you want me to keep doing something like this for every lunation. I'm curious, how did this ritual make you feel? Please share your experience. I'd love to know. And until next time, keep shining bright, just like the sun. Sending you all so much love and light. Namaste.